Hi, my name is Alyssa Chambers. This is Astrology and Makeup. Today we are talking about having Sagittarius anywhere in your chart. We're finishing up the zodiac and we'll be moving on to houses next, and then we'll get more into more fun stuff. But thank you for watching if you watched so far. If you have Sag in your chart anywhere, this will help you to understand that a little bit better. And obviously, I'm gonna do my makeup while I talk about this. So, yeah, I'm gonna doll this face up with some Sag vibes today. Sag on your chart is represented by an arrow pointing, and it has a line through it. I love Sages so much. I love y'all. I love you guys. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and they are on the move, passionate, fiery. They're great. I am a little biased. Some of my very best friends and favorite coworkers are Sag. Honestly, I don't know if that even makes me biased, because I didn't know that until I started to learn astrology, and then I was like, wow, all my friends are Sages, Sag moons, and Leo moons. Like almost every 98% of my friends. That's weird. That's weird. I talked in my planets video a little bit about Jupiter, and Jupiter is ruled by Sag, and it's learning, how you learn. And it's so accurate because I find Sages just love to learn. The thing that I find though is that Sages love to learn on their own terms. They're not typically, sometimes they are, but they're not typically like readers. Not that they don't like to read, but they're one of those groups of people who learn from experiences more than reading about something. Sages are just not like book people. A lot of them that I know, they do enjoy reading, but they want to read what they want to read about. They're not school people. Most of them are not fans of school, and if they are fans of school, it's because they're learning something that they actually enjoy, like something that they're actually going to school for, that they chose. They're past all of the high school stuff. They're not being told what to do, because they're not fans of that. Don't tell them what to do. Matter of fact, if you want to tell Sag what to do, you can tell them what to do, and they'll just go ahead and not do it. They'll just go ahead and not do that. You're gonna want to suggest and give reasons. Maybe they'll do it, because they make their own choices. Sages want to go and explore the world for their own self. They want to experience the world and get it in a literal sense. They don't necessarily want to read about it or watch a movie about it. They will, to maybe before they go do it, but they want to go to that place. They want to eat that food. They want to experience it. Sag is all about experiences. I think it would be really fun to have a Sag just sit there and talk to you about whatever it is that they're passionate about. Just have them be like, hey, what do you like to learn about? Boom. You're gonna learn something today. You're gonna learn probably a lot. And I feel like Sages are just enough on the aggressive side, just enough on the telling you how they feel about things side, and typically pretty good at just, depending on how you receive things, they will learn to adapt to how well you receive things. Usually, depends on the rest of the chart. I know I say that in every video, but they will learn and adapt to telling you things to the best way that you will receive it. They're not really sugarcoaters. They don't prefer to be sugarcoaters. They will straight up tell you how it is. And I think that everybody needs somebody like that in their corner. At least one person, if not honestly like multiple. Because you don't want a bunch of friends who are just like sugarcoating things. What's the point of that? You're never gonna get better or do better if people don't tell you the things that you do wrong. You'll never learn. I guess for the most part, it is dependent on how well you are at receiving criticism, because some people just aren't. Some people are just more sensitive. They take things to heart when it's not that way at all. It is definitely a double-edged sword, because of course you want to be spoken to in a nice way, but depending on how you receive things, sometimes you just gotta be told. Sometimes you just need to hear it in a harsh way. And even if it's not a harsh way, people can adapt. But if you're very sensitive, I don't recommend asking Sagittarius what they think. Personally, I need that. I need someone to hopefully tiptoe a little bit about being harsh, but be like, hey, you're doing this way, and it would be better done this way. Or, I don't appreciate it when you do it this way. Can you do it this way? That's it. That's all it is. For example, I have a friend at work, she's a Sag, and if I ever am questioning whether I'm doing something stupidly, I'm like, hey, was that stupid? And she goes, yeah, that was pretty stupid. Okay. Now, if she elaborates and she's like, it was stupid because you should do it like this, or it was stupid because you're making more work for yourself, or whatever the reasoning is, that really helps. But I mean, it's that simple to me. To be fair, I do work in an environment where people are very critical about what you're doing. So I think depending on what you're doing is how people should tell you what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. If you work in a place where it's like you work with children, maybe speak to someone in a softer way, but that's open to, that's a whole nother thing. That's a Mercury problem right there. Let's be real though, you probably know how your friends give criticism, or loved ones in general. So if you're a Cancer, Mercury, Venus, any Cancer, and you're asking a Sag for advice, and you're very sensitive to receiving advice, maybe don't ask your Sag friend. It's really that easy. And if you really want to make your Sag friend mad, go ahead and ask them advice and then ignore them. I'm looking at you, Taurus. I'm looking right at you, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, Earth signs. I'm looking at you. Here's the problem though. As a Libra, I feel like I'm good at interpreting how much to sugarcoat things, but as a Scorpio Mercury, I'm not. This is just like a life lesson at this point, but I think it's really important before you ask somebody for advice, or if somebody does ask you for advice, that you both understand the fact of whether you're asking because you want advice or because you just want someone to listen to you. Because if you're going to ask a Sag and then you're going to get mad at their answer, then that's not really fair. Now, I'm saying this because I feel like 99% of all arguments with Sag comes from them giving you advice and you probably ignoring it, or them giving you advice and you getting sensitive about it, and then they're mad that you're being sensitive about it. But it's not like Sag goes around giving out unsolicited advice. People ask for it and then they don't like what they receive. I guess this is just a little defense for my Sag friends, because like literally every argument I ever hear that they're in is because of those reasons. Because I know personally, from my 28 trips around the sun so far, that sometimes I am in no place to be asking for or receiving any advice from anyone. Or giving, for that matter. Alright, so let's talk about some placements. If you know your time, then you'll know your houses. And Sagittarius is your 9th house. Now, your 9th house is awesome. It's where you have your gifts at. It's what you're really good at. It's good fortune, because Jupiter, which is also ruled by Sag, is good fortune. So that's really cool. If you have a lot of stuff in your 9th house, honestly, congratulations. Really. I know that sounded really sarcastic, but I'm being 100% serious. If you have a lot of stuff in your 9th house, you are beyond gifted. If you have a Mercury in your 9th house, or a Sag Mercury, that means you speak well. You're great at learning things through speech. That's amazing. Like, some people can't. Like, that's luck. If that's not luck, like, I don't know what is, really. To be able to have anything in Sag, meaning that you receive knowledge in that way, like your Jupiter in Sag is crazy good. If your Mars is in the 9th house or in Sag, that means that you react well to learning, and you learn from reactions and actions, and that's like your goal in life, is when people do things, you learn from it really well, usually. Or you just enjoy experiencing new things. You like to learn, and you prefer to experience new things in a learning kind of way. Generation Z is so cool because their Pluto is in Sag. So their ultimate transformation will be learning. That's so cool to me. Like, the whole generation after me, I'm a millennial, is going to learn from our experiences. Like, if that, I feel like that's the ultimate goal here, you know, of every generation. You want them to learn from you and do well, do better than you did, and continue to be better people overall. A lot of Sag people, like a lot of teachers, have a Venus in their 9th house, or they have Sag Venus, which means that they love to learn and give and receive, like, learning and experiences, and that's like the most adorable thing I've ever heard. If I look at somebody's chart and I see that they have a Venus in Sag, I automatically, I'm like, are you a teacher? Do you like to teach? Do you want to be a teacher? And almost every single time they say yes. It depends on what house it's in. So if it's in a house that's more challenging, like the 12th house, they do have a harder time with it because it's like deeper kind of stuff in there. But how cool is that? How cute. I love that. In conclusion, that's gonna be my new thing. In conclusion, don't get loud with a Sag because they'll tear you up. And also learn from them. They're some of the best friends you can have. You can learn so much from them. People do struggle with Sages, the way they speak. They're like sometimes abrasive, whether they mean to be or not. And also they can be hard to tame because they love to learn new things, love to go to new places, and they have a hard time like settling down with things. If they have a good Venus, then relationship wise it's not that big of a deal. But you know, everyone has their thing. If you love to learn and love to go new places, like, are you really gonna get tied down? Thank you for watching. If you like this video or thought it was helpful, please subscribe. Blah, 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 blah. Love you, Sages.